Dr. Bill?
Yes, sir. It's my lucky day. The next item is something y'all have seen in prior years, is a request for approval and authorization to move forward with a tax anticipation note issuance. This year, because of our bettering financial position, we qualify for about $35 to $40 million in TANs, tax anticipation notes. The document in front of you says up to 50 million, excuse me, 35 to 40 million, says up to 50 million. I don't think we'll get a calculation to let us borrow. As you know, a tax anticipation note is not debt. It's a short-term note within a budget year, and under Georgia law, it has to be paid off by the end of the calendar year. Last year, we paid off the TAN on December 16th. This year, I'm shooting for December 16th again. The anticipated market conditions, of course, will be reflected in the bids that we get. The schedule right now, which is attached, indicates we'd like to receive bids the morning of July 7th, which is your scheduled board meeting day for the setting of the final millage rate. And the financial advisory firm will calculate the best bid, which we're hoping to have a yield between a fifth to a third of a percent. And I would request then on that particular day, we will bring the winning bidder, last year it was Oppenheimer, to you for y'all to accept the bid. And we would be moving forward with closing the transaction by July 15th. The funds will be transferred into our accounts, and we will use those funds just on a cash flow basis. You know, we then use them on a cash flow basis and pay the note off before the end of the year. So with that said, I would just request that you would put this authorization to issue a tax anticipation note for us to go forward on your consent agenda. And of course, the final results of the bid will be brought to you discreetly on July 7th.
Mr. McMahon?
Thank you, Chairman. Dr. Bill, does this go through the regular RFP process, or is this?
When you say regular RFP process, we have a financing team made up of our note counsel, which will be Sutherland, and last year's financial advisory firm, Public Financial Management, okay? But in terms of the awarding of the business, it will be on a low bid basis on the morning of July 7th.
Right. I was just saying, we're looking for somebody to give us $50 million on a short-term basis.
Up to probably around 35 or 40 for something less than 6 months.
And I was just saying,
they won't give it to us, they're going to lend it to us.
I understand.
Okay?
With that
and
being,
they will say, we are offering to lend you $35 million, and we want you to pay us back 1/5 of a percent, 1/3 of a percent, and that's how the bids will be calculated, of course. And we would select the lowest interest rate bidder.
thank you.
Mr. Mayfield?
Right. And just a point of clarification, you said at the beginning that we were looking at possibly a $35 million TAN as opposed to 50. Is that?
Yeah, last year it was 70.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But based on the formula you use to calculate your capacity,
right,
we don't go negative at all this year. It looks like we'll be between $1.5 million and $2 million positive as we go forward. But the financial advisory firm is taking a look at our cash flow, and they think we would qualify for about 35 to 40 million. And as we improve our financial position, that could get thinner and thinner, and then at a certain point, it's not worth it to do it.
right, exactly. And I think that was certainly the point that I had hoped to get clarification on, is that when we look at a request or anticipating a request for a TAN, we're actually also considering whatever fund balance that we have to support that cash flow that we're looking to get from the TAN. So,
Yes, sir.
is that correct? Right.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
No further discussion. Is there any opposition to placing this item on the consent agenda for this evening? Hearing none, this item will be placed on the consent agenda